And hello and welcome to Sable's WorldForge. So I apologize in advance if I'm a little sniffly. I either have like a bad allergy or a mild cold. I'm not sure which it is. It's probably allergies. It's that time of year. The goldenrod is brewing. Ah, shit. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. I've set up my phone today beside the computer so that I can keep an eye on the chat a little bit more efficiently. I've received some feedback about that. I use Twitch Studio. Oh, come on. Right? And Twitch Studio doesn't have an option to put the chat in front of me. So we're gonna wing that. I don't appear to be getting very good reception on my phone, which concerns me for possible viewers, but hey Barbarossa, nice to see you. Yeah, doing my Sunday thing, and hello Scribe, welcome. Okay, so I don't know what I was thinking. I was copying something and pasting it into the Discord, but today what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be working on the Flash Challenge, because just as I predicted on Wednesday, I looked at the date today and went, holy shit, is it like the 30th already? I guess I better get this done. It's not like I've done nothing on it, so that's good, right? But yeah, I'm going to try to finish that up today. And, oh, hey, Bob. Nice to see you. Welcome. Yeah, we're gonna see how that works out. So that's the plan. I've decided that I'm going to handle my two major streams differently, right? So today is going to be the chat community-oriented stream, right? You want to share your articles from World Anvil and whatnot, today is the good day to do it, and I'm happy to do that. On Wednesdays, I'm going to try to be a little bit more sprint focused because, well, call them focused periods of work. They don't have to be sprints, but I'm finding that I'm not getting anything done because I'm too busy chatting in my streams, and I enjoy the company, right? But you know, I'm gonna start to try to focus a little more, especially with NaNoWriMo starting to come up, right? So I'm taking a page from Greg's book. I'm going to be using the Pomodoro technique, which I've used before, right? And basically, I don't know, if you've been in Greg's streams, you know how it works. There's like focused work time and then a much shorter focused break time where you don't work and then you go back to work, right? So that's sort of the layout that I plan on doing with Diane Writes on Wednesdays. You know, once we've done an introduction period and stuff. So I was playing around with the layout for that before I started today, and this is what it's going to look like. This is like, see, and then I've got a sprint timer up here, and shout out to Darth Nicholas for that. Thank you so much for giving me that. And basically it's going to run, and you know, hopefully that way I'll limit myself to 5 minutes at a time in the chat, and then that way, you know, we can get more work done. Because I know that a lot of people started watching the sprint because they're like, or Wednesdays because they're like, yeah, let's get some writing done, and I'm not getting a lot of writing done. So, all right, so that's my plan there. Yeah, so, oh yes, and another programming note, and I'll repeat it again at the end of the broadcast. Tomorrow night's game in Toy Soldiers Old School is canceled. A couple of our players are moving or being involved in a move, so I just don't think it's fair. And so yeah, so that's postponed, I guess, till next week, right? Next Monday we'll be back at same bad time, same bad channel, right? So okay, so I'm gonna get started here, I guess. This is not a sprint, this is just I'm working. So this is my article here, Starseed pollination, right? It's related to my tree of life, which obviously I've already created as a life form, right? What these are giant trees that are the size of worlds. Sometimes they have smaller worlds in their roots. Oh, thank you for the posture check. Ha! This is working out quite well, actually, having the phone right there, because I just glanced over and I saw that that posture check was there, and we didn't have to wait till after the me looking at stuff. Hey, DM Stretch, welcome. Nice to see you. I took your feedback under advisement. I have my phone sitting here beside me, and I am using that to keep an eye on the chat. So it's working. All right, so anyway, yeah, these are giant trees. And, you know, there's an example of, you know, little worlds in its roots, right? And they are what make space travel possible. Their seeds look in various forms like this. You know, there's bigger versions and smaller versions with slightly different structures, but more or less they resemble a giant ash or maple seed, right? They're a seed with wingy things on them. And what they do is they use the airts, which are currents of gravity, magic, and time, to get from one place to another in space, because that is how they spread themselves out, as it were. So pollination is something of a mystery with these guys in my world. So this is a bit of a spoiler article that I am going to be creating, but it's perfect for the task, right? DM Stretch says, "Oh, cool! I've been working on Streamlabs most of the day." Cool. Yeah, I was playing around a bit before I started. I set up a sprint screen, and so that's a thing. And I was also checking to see what the best setup would be to do chat, right? Because I don't have the option of putting the chat. I mean, like, I probably could if I played around with it, because it lets you capture a URL, but I would have to do too much work every time, and I like to keep my layouts simple so that I can just go, oh shit, it's time for the stream, click it, and get on with it, right? So, because, you know, otherwise I'd be half an hour late every time instead of 10 minutes, because I just don't do time well. So, yeah, so that's why I did that, but my phone is sitting here, and it's working really well for me, kind of having a place to keep an eye on the chat while things go on. So, all right, everything looks smooth. So yes, this is my current article here. I guess I might as well put the view screen up for see, now there's a bigger Starseed. What this actually is was fan art that was done for the Spelljammer campaign. An artist and a personal friend that, you know, I really admire. His name is Silverblade the Enchanter, and he's kind of well known in the Spelljammer and Forgotten Realms community for doing a lot of art. He actually has his own entry on the Forgotten Realms wiki, which I think is pretty awesome, right? But yeah, so this is a Spelljammer ship, but it looks close enough for the purposes of what I'm doing, right? For a an image of a Starseed ship. So I thought, what the hell? I've got a couple of pictures like that. He does these particular ships very, very well, right? So Starseed pollination. And I'm doing this as a natural law because I already created the species. Right. Oh, hello, Macaro. Nice to see you. Welcome. This is working so well, having the phone right here. This is a new thing. Okay. DM Stretch says, I did look, and Twitch Studio didn't have the overlay function. There's a workaround, but you're right. Far too much hassle. This is working. It's kind of low tech, but it works. So, why not? All right. So, trees of life have long mystified and intrigued naturalists. The greatest puzzle was propagation. How does a giant tree that is inevitably the sole member of its kind in light years reproduce itself? Assuming that they are truly trees, or that they truly are trees, how does pollen pass from one tree to another to produce star seeds? It was the work of Avalonian Imperial Navy druids and naturalists Vonvin Starsong and Alessander Tremaine. You guys may recognize Vonvin Starsong as one of the characters in Toy Soldiers Old School, and she doesn't know that she did this discovery yet, but I figure it's like 400 years before the books began, right? And she's actively pursuing the study of star seeds as part of her character. It's one of the things that is motivating her to get out into space. So I assume she's likely to find this information sooner or later, right? Okay. That eventually led to the answer. Trees of life use the erts to further their own reproduction, and they effectively pollinate themselves, although other starfaring ships and even some large starfaring creatures may also serve as secondary pollinators. Life cycle of a starseed. A starseed develops, seemingly of its own volition, as a product of a tree of life. The seed somewhat resembles a gargantuan maple or ash seed with 2 to 6 distinct wings. Left to its own devices, it will grow to the size of a dreadnought before it detaches itself into the currents of the erts. The unique nature of a starseed allows it to harness the erts for motive force, although it has no way to accelerate beyond light speed unless it happens upon a wormhole, nor does it possess a method of steering or sailing. Like a leaf adrift in a stream, it is entirely reliant on the currents it is in to carry it elsewhere. Most starseeds simply wind up adrift in the void, where they slowly wither and die without access to the energies of a star to sustain them. But some find a solid body. I might change that. Maybe they just remain dormant. Because that's the thing, they live for, eons, right? Like elves cannot measure their lifespan, so, maybe I'll change that. But some find a solid body in which to take root, usually an asteroid or a comet, but sometimes a moon or planet. The process is little understood, but it is believed that when this happens, it is possible for a starseed to grow into a full-grown tree of life in only a few centuries. When utilized by the Avalonian Imperial Navy as a starseed ship, a starseed can instead be shaped through magic, typo, yeah, and still a draft, right? And careful druidry to carry crew and passengers. This may be to the starseed's evolutionary advantage because it allows the ship to more effectively navigate the erts and thus increases its odds of eventually finding a suitable place in which to root, although that may be delayed several centuries while the starseed remains commissioned by the Navy. Still, the question remained: how does a tree of life pollinate? How do starseeds develop in the first place? So yeah, that's what I'm currently working on. So I figure I'm going to carry on here, and I'm going to describe the process in the manifestation visualization section of the prompt screen. So yeah, that's my plan for the moment. I don't expect this to take the whole stream. Are you guys interested in joining me for a focused work period, a sprint, as it were? Or would you guys rather I just tippity-tappity away and kind of talk until it's done? This is a much less formal, process today. This is the community hangout stream, right? Where'd my music go? Oh, just a pause. Okay. I was watching Q earlier. He's got some cool music going on. Mikaro says, I'm not writing tonight, so I'm fine either way. Oh, well, you know what? I'm just going to tippity-tap away then and not be organized about it. And then that way I can take breaks and talk in the chat, which is right there. So now I can see it. So convenient. I like that. I should have thought of that before. I'm an idiot. I should have taken a page from Brianna's book. That's what she's doing. She's smart. Alright, so first we'll fix my typos. Why are these not sitting right today? Okay. Increases its odds. How do starseeds develop in the first place? DM Stretch says, either. Not really writing today, just chilling out. Well, like I say, guys, feel free to, you know, spend them channel points and share your articles. I don't know if Scribe has done any more work on the pollinator article that he originally had us look at. I only got the, I feel like we only got the quickest glance at it the other day when we were doing State of the Multiverse. So if you want to do it again, right, then feel free to just put it up, Scribe. I'm not even going to make you spend channel points for it because I think like I ripped you off. DM Stretch says, been a hell of a delay on Twitch today. Was the same in Hefe's stream. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I don't know. It does appear to be quite the... I mean, it depends on what... I've got three computers going at the moment. I've got the streaming computer, which is, of course, right in front of me. And then I've got... Well, okay, actually, the computer's down on the floor. The screen is in front of me. Right, the laptop's over there with my stream manager up so I can keep an eye on that. Right, and then my phone is over here, and the delay on the phone is ridiculous. Like, you're losing at least 30 seconds, maybe as much as 45 on that. The laptop only appears to have about a 15-second delay or so. Provided, of course, my estimations of time are in any way accurate, which is dubious. All right. RPG Dinosaur Bob says, no sprints needed here either, just did 1,500 words of adventure script and logged in our 10th Synergazia participant. That's excellent. I'm really glad to hear that Synergazia is developing, and feel free to share the link in the chat again there, Bob, if you want to. I think this is entirely Anvilites in the audience today, but if people don't know, Synergazia is a project that's been masterminded by Dinosaur Bob and by Kahuna the Elder, and it is a co-created world, right? If you would like to create a region in the world to interact with the other regions in the world, then you submit an idea, and you know, they give you a region that is yours to do whatever you want with, and they give you writer or editor authority on the world. I don't know exactly which, because I don't know what would be necessary. And then you just create your stuff for that co-created world. And I think it's an amazing project. And if I didn't already have so much on my plate, I would be in like Flynn. But as it is, I can support it and talk about it on my stream. So that's what I'm doing. So, because freaking cool. And I'll be watching closely. So I am a follower there. All right, I'm going to tippity-tappity away here. Manifestation visualization. Let's see. 1 in 1,000 subtitle. So that's probably H3 there. Okay. Starseeds are not, in fact, seeds, or at least they are not just seeds. In a manner of speaking, they are also highly sophisticated flowers. Most starseeds are female, and as they make their journeys through the vast reaches of the void, they hope to, how would I describe that? Uh-oh, did I go down here? My phone said the broadcast I was watching has ended. I seem to be live in every other window. Must just have had trouble getting the signal. Still got the chat going though, so I guess I don't care. Okay. Yeah, Mikara says hype, which is awesome. Bob did share the article, or the world link, and he says, participants will be authors in the world. You'll have full control over your articles and view access to others. The world page explains all. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. That's really cool. I'm very excited about this project. Hey, Darth Nicholas. It goes well. I've got a new setup for the stream happening. I got my phone over here so I can keep an eye on chat even when I'm working. And yeah, I'm working on my pollinator article for today, finishing it up. So, and how are you and what are you working on? Most people appear to just be here to hang out, which is absolutely cool by me. Oh, and thank you very much. I said earlier, I guess I'll go to the downtime screen here while I'm talking. Yeah, thank you very much there, Darth, for the sprint timer. I installed it. I'm still here. Wow, you're right. That is a hell of a delay. Holy crap. I think I said that almost a minute ago. Whoa. Okay. Yikes. All right, but I'll show you guys the sprint timer. This is what the sprint screen will look like. And yeah, that's great. And this timer was either created or acquired, I'm not sure which, by Darth Nicholas, so thank you very much for that. And it has a nice cheering sound when you reach the end of the sprint. And I'll be running that in Diane Writes on Wednesdays so that we can be a little bit more focused, and I'll, you know, use the 5-minute breaks between the 15-minute sprints to keep an eye on the chat. Yeah, it looks good, eh? It works, and it's right there where you can see it, but it's not obtrusive. I love it. I think it's amazing. So, and I figure if I need to shut it off and I don't want it running, I just go back to this screen and we're good, right? And you can also tell, even when the thing isn't there, if there's sparklies around my image, then we're in a sprint. And why I did that is because it's consistent with the Diane Writes stuff, because I've got the sparkling stars theme for that, right? But if we're not, then we've got our general main window here. And I tried to make the little box as close to accurate size as I could, but nah, it doesn't quite line up, but close enough. Darth Nicholas says, a combo of acquired freebie parts that I assembled into one. Excellent. Well, it's great. Thank you very much. It's awesome. All right, so I'm going to go, well, no, I am in my main screen. So yeah, working on my pollinator article here. Starseeds are not in fact seeds, or at least they're not just seeds. In a manner of speaking, they are also highly sophisticated flowers. Most starseeds are female, and as they make their journeys through the vast reaches of the void, they hope to encounter starseed pollen. If they do acquire, or if they are so fortunate, space is big, guys. You know, they store pollen in their bodies, or in their carapace, shell. What is the part? Oh, that's what's going wrong. I've got, I still had Q up in the background. I was watching Q before we started. So, okay. Part of the flower, of the female flower, that collects pollen. That's exactly what I want. Stigma. Okay. Make sure I get my terminology right. Okay, I was just double checking to make sure nobody had said anything. Oh, oh, dings! I have dings. That sounds like a raid. Is that a raid? Yay, it's a raid! Welcome, Q! And welcome the people of Q. Hello, Delian. Good to see you. Yeah, I was watching your broadcast before I started, actually, and I still had it running in the background, so I think it was causing issues with my frame rate. Nice to see you. I hope your stream went well. I saw your early morning one, and I had some fun. And yeah, I think I got all of 10 minutes of your recent one, but glad you came. I'm working on my pollinator article, and we're kind of hanging out and chatting today. So that is what we are doing. There's a huge delay on this thing, by the way, so if it takes me forever to respond, I'm pretty sure we're at least a minute behind anything it says in the chat. I apologize. Okay. They store their pollen, the pollen in their internally located stigma until an opportunity to take root somewhere presents itself. This is usually signified by a color change. Okay, when the okay, let's see. When the starseed is fertilized, this is usually signified by a color change. Shifting the starseed to brighter pink, or to brighter pinks or purple shades. As opposed to their usual iridescent greens, purples, and blues. And yes, that's the reverse of what flowers typically do. Flowers are typically bright to attract pollinators, but these guys don't have to do that, right? More likely they want to stay less bright so that they can be, you know, kind of blend into the void as they drift. Right. No, maybe not internally located. Let's see here. In it is a characteristic hexagonal crystalline spelled correctly? No, I thought it had an L, an extra L. Okay. It is the characteristic hexagonal crystalline pattern on the surface of the starseed that contains the plant's stigma. Plant's sex organs. Let's be honest here, because if you're a boy starseed, then you probably have your stamen in the same place, don't you? There are thousands of stigma in each hexagon. creating maximum opportunity for pollinization, anization, spell right, Diane. Okay, apparently I didn't spell that right even so. Who knows? Pollination. Well, no wonder I'm doing it wrong. Okay. Hydrate. Label out. Ah! Sorry, Barbarossa. I forgot to get, like, an actual, like, caffeine-free or not coffee-related drink. I will have coffee for now, and I will grab one and hydrate properly at the turn of the hour. How's that? Ooh, Cold Stone Creamery ice cream, says Bob. Oh my god. I don't know, ice cream of any kind sounds frickin' amazing right now to me. I will take it. Make me write a paragraph. I'm already writing. But alright, I'll get on with it. Okay. And thank you for that. Okay, creating maximum opportunity for pollination as the stigma literally cover the starseed's shell. There. And now I'll put that there. 1 in 1,000. However, 1 in 1,000 starseeds, roughly, perhaps, because we don't know for sure, 1 in 1,000 starseeds are male. Bob says, there's water and coffee, you're fine. I like your logic. And perhaps 1 in 1,000 starseeds are male. I'm trying to decide if they're different colors. Ah, no, they're different shaped. They are okay, to an untrained eye, they are indistinguishable from female starseeds. But, oh, where's chatting here? E-Song has arrived. Greetings, fellow world builders and Twitch addicts. Everyone says hi to E-Song. Hi, E-Song. Nice to see you. Awake today? Yeah, had to work in the morning. Yay. On Sunday? Why do you have to work on... Well, you're a teacher, that's why. Because teachers work from sun to sun, and the teacher's work is never... No, man may work from sun to sun, but a teacher's work is never done. There we go. Hey, Sable, don't let me distract you. I sing it at church, too. Yeah, I guess you'd have to get up early for choir and singing. You know... That's one thing I miss about church. I love to sing in a choir. I think it's the most amazing experience in the world, especially when you're singing songs that are uplifting and moving, you know? I just love it. Nothing like it. Bob said, I saw your comments about being tired all day. I hope you retained your Roll20 lessons. And E-Song agrees that singing in a choir does her soul good. And she says she did retain the Roll20 lessons, which is great. Were you giving Roll20 lessons there, Bob? That's awesome. Don't worry, you're not distracting me today, E-Song. I've decided that Wednesday is like I'm getting stuff done stream, and Sunday is I'm going to work casually and chat. What we're currently working on is my pollinator article. I already did the life form ages ago. I'm discussing the process of pollination from my Oh wait, that's the other article. Okay, this is the draft, but from my tree of life, which produces starseed ships, and well, they're actually seeds, living seeds, but they're modified to become ships, right? And this is the process by which the ships or the seeds become pollinated, which is complex. So maybe I'll read over both of these articles when I'm done to explain how the process works together. Bob says yes was helping Esong set up a controlled fire in a village. Oh, the village that she was working on in her stream the other day, where she accidentally deleted stuff, and that was very frustrating, and I sympathize completely. I did that recently in a stream. I was very upset. But Scribe isn't allowed to know that. Well, too late, I think he does, because he was watching at the start of the stream anyway. Oops. Esong says that would be awesome. Okay, I will probably do that then. But like I said, this is kind of my free-form chatting stream, so if you guys want to share your articles, this is the day to do it, right? Esong says, thankfully easier to rebuild than 20,000 words. Yes. Are you prepared to cut off chat on Wednesdays? You know what I'm going to do? I'll show you. I was talking about this earlier in the stream, but I'll do it again because I'm actually kind of excited. So I have this thing going. This is my sprint screen. Notice the timer, right? I'm taking a cue from writer Greg, and I've done the Pomodoro method before, right? And I think it works well for me. So what I'm going to do is run that lovely timer that was created by Darth Nicholas for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to have, it's got a timed 5-minute break, and then we'll talk, and then we'll go back to work, right? That's the plan. Anyway, we'll see how well it works, but I think it should work okay. Right, so yeah. And it just runs. I can't shut it off. It just goes. So I better adapt. Yeah. You'll do a pollinator showcase today? Absolutely, I will. Seems like a very good day to do it, considering that today is the last day of the challenge. Right? Yeah, when you have 5 minutes to talk, are you just going to jump down to the most recent conversations or try to pick up where you left off? Do you have strong feelings on that, one way or the other? I figured I would scroll back since I had shut up and deal with anything that was immediate. I don't know. Okay. I think you're never going to catch up. Well, okay, actually, I got a brain, right? Because I listened to DM Stretch's feedback. I'll show you. I got like a low-tech solution here. Okay. I am running the stream in my phone, except the stream's not running because it's my phone and Twitch is twitchy. But more importantly, I have the active chat, which you can't see because it's too bright. Let's see. No, there's no way in hell. There you go. You sort of see it there, right? So I won't have to like completely read and catch up, right? It's right there. So if there's anything important, I can discuss it during the sprint. And this seems to be working very well today. I think I've got much faster response time. And I say that with love, she says. I don't have any strong feelings one way or the other, but I think you should have a plan, and that's fair. Yeah. Okay, so I got a plan. Right? So we're going to do it. We're going to give it a try. And I'm going to try to, you know, I figure give myself a little space to organize that as we get closer to Nano. I mean, September is just about to start here. Right? Preptober is going to be spent... I suppose I should talk about that. Preptober, I'm going to spend a lot of time working specifically on getting articles ready in the Toy Soldier Saga for what I think I'm going to need to finish the draft of book 3. And part of that may involve more military actions than I've done, because one thing that happens in book 3 is that I start to get into some really large scale space battles. And, well, okay, not really large scale, right? But large scale, right? Not just a couple of ships, right? Taking pot shots at each other or whatever. It's like, flotillas and even in some cases small fleets, right? And this is complicated. And I want to do it right because it turns out that I have a large number of, if my core fan group, I guess you could say, is any indication, I have a lot of military people who read this stuff, right? They've been following me since it was fan fiction, and they want me to finish it. And so I feel an obligation to know what I'm talking about, and really, I'm probably overthinking it, actually, because I'm so concerned about making sure that, if you're in the Navy and you read my battle scene, you're not going, oh, for fuck's sakes, right? I mean, like, in the smattering of military strategy and tactics that I have studied, which I have been working on studying in order to try to portray this character better over a period of years. So, I'm an interested amateur at this point, right? When I read books where people have no concept of tactics, I can't. I just can't. So, yay, plans! As a military wife, I understand that, says Esong. Yeah, absolutely. You want to know what you're talking about, right? Or at least you want to sound like you know what you're talking about, where, the military people in your life who are reading it are like, okay. Fortunately, I live with 2 military guys, right? One was in the Navy and one was in the Army, so I can run that stuff by them, right? And they can tell me if I have done anything horribly wrong, usually. So, one of them is like my primary alpha reader, that's Aaron, and one of them is my editor, and that's Jamie. So I have all kinds of opportunities. Jamie tends to be far more critical than Aaron does. Aaron's like good for the cheering section, right? And I love him for it. And Jamie's good for you realize this is totally off the wall, right? And I love him for that too. So, it's great. I got like all the support. So that is what makes him a great alpha reader. Yes, I agree, Song. It really is. It's important to have that encouragement. Without his encouragement, I never would have pursued this. I gotta say, honestly, right? Let's see. I didn't get a lot of encouragement from my mom, right? And my dad didn't have time, right? My dad worked nights the whole time I was growing up, right? So you didn't want to bother him unless it was important. So, and mom was, she was harsh. And it's in large part because she doesn't read science fiction and fantasy, which is what interests me. So, also she had high expectations. And I don't know, I don't blame her, right? Because I don't think that she had, like, much of a real childhood, so she wasn't really capable of what children, like, really grasping what children were capable of. So, so she was harsh, and it was, it was discouraging. And the other thing is that anytime, because my mom is bipolar, and she unfortunately was untreated a good deal in my life, right? When I was sitting down, every time that she stopped moving and sat down, she was depressed, right? So, because it was like either, just go all the time, right? Or it was rock bottom, right? So when she saw me sitting down, I think she figured I was depressed, so she tried to get me to go and do things. So I was not encouraged to sit down and write. And so I still to this day struggle with the whole, have I done everything else? Okay, I've done it all, now I can sit down and write. I only mention this because psychology and your personal psychology is so important to being an effective writer. We all have these little, training from our past we have to get used to. If we didn't have a lot of encouragement when we were younger, it's really hard to muster the encouragement in the present. So you really need somebody to support you. So I hope that everyone here is supporting each other, at least, because then you know, we're all gonna be better for it, right? Anyway, my soliloquy. I will read your article now, Bob. We will do that. Tending Birdia's gardens. I like the picture. I want to go there. Looks like a place where you could take your shoes off and walk in the forest, which is neat. Birdia Atazana of the Alavar, the first of the Astralar races to arrive at Carterion. Rivals of the Orokar, they're principally regarded as the deities of the elves and the gnomes. Okay. Were the first to arrive some 20,000 turns of the season ago. Birdia, seeing the broad expanses of rock and sea left by the creator of worlds, decided that he would bring beauty into this place. He first made the grasses and trees and flowers, and all the green things that grow on the land and in the shallow seas. Then, because he saw beauty in motion as well as form, he awoke the creatures that live in the seas and marshes, the creatures large and small that inhabit the forests and plains, and the birds, bats, and insects that inhabit the skies. From the Elven Tale of the Awakenings. Very pretty. Oh, what a lovely picture of a bee. My goodness. I just love bees. I have got a real interest in them. I do that citizen scientist thing where you take pictures of different types of bees and then, like, send it to, you know, I don't know, there's a URL where you send the pictures and they compile the data to try to identify the types of bees that are in your area. There's quite a diverse group of bees around here. We have an amazing number of different bumblebees. They're, they're just amazing. So, yeah. Yes and yes, says Bob. All right, I'm good. Okay. So I guess the pronunciation correct. Okay. Birdia of the Alavar created the first plant and animal life that covered Carterion. His design included the means by which these plants would thrive. He envisioned a web involving not only the plants, but all varieties of animal life, from tiny insects to larger birds and beasts. All aspects of creation relied in some way on every other. I like how you're, you know, uh, immediately talking about the interwoven nature of the diversity of the life on the planet. In that it's part of the theology. I like that a lot. Food chains are the most visible evidence of this, but not the only one. The elven sages teach their people that there is a vital balance in nature, a balance between the plants and trees of Carterion and its creatures. Crawling insects, bees, birds, bats, even the larger furred beasts. In return, the plants give the creatures nectar as a special reward. Nice. Later, other creatures may eat the plants or their fruit, but then spread the plant seed in their scat to allow the cycle to continue. Left to themselves, all creatures prosper and life goes on. Nice. But things on Carterion are rarely left to themselves. Atazana, one of the wisest, it says wisest, so I think you missed a T, right? Of all the Astralar knew this, and so took steps to ensure that the works of her partner Birdia would forever grace the world of Carterion with their beauty and splendor. Nice. Okay. Do you want me to read the main body of the article more from here, or do you want me to shift over to the sidebar? I could do either. I'll read the quote first. Atazana awakened beings that would watch over her partner's works and enjoy their beauty. She formed the dryads to watch over the forests of the great trees, the limoniads, or limoniads, to attend the flowers of the meadows and plains, and the naiads to watch over the rivers and pools of fresh water. The Nereids were created to watch over, I think that's Nereids, right? You never hear anybody say that word. I've seen it in print a million times. But, okay, the Nereids were created to watch over the larger seas, and the Oreads to watch over the mountains. She created the pixies and sprites to live in the gardens made by Birdia all over Carterion. Yes, typo. Sidebar last. Okay. The elven sages also teach their people that Atazana believed that while the bees and beasts were vital parts of the plan, they were not enough to ensure the fullest beauty of the world. She created the Fae, the nymphs to be exact, as creatures with greater intelligence than the animals and greater appreciation for the beauty of nature and desire to see it nurtured. I would say was here. This was before other deities arrived at Carterion and began to twist and pollute some of the nymphs into the dark, antagonistic, evil gremlin forms that are found today wherever the Fae can be found. So you have a Seelie and unseelie Fae. Nice. Okay. Well, you gotta have bad guys. Otherwise, there's no story. Right? There needs to be conflict or there's no story. The different varieties of nymphs, okay, there's no of there, right, are responsible for different regions of Carterion, but all have similar responsibilities. They monitor the health and vitality of nature and do what they can do to ensure things are working according to plan. Since the influences of the dark gods started to taint Birdia's nature, this task has become more challenging. Sometimes they need to protect creatures from threats that never used to be. Sometimes they must take an active role in replanting flora that has been blighted and restoring the fauna needed to complete the complex webs of dependency. Oh, what a pretty hummingbird picture. My goodness. This article is just beautiful. I love the presentation so much. I want to go to this place. I want to go and take off my shoes and run around in that mossy wood. And then I want to, like, you know, go drink from the clear streams. Like, it all gives me that total impression of this beautiful, pure land that, you know, the kind of place I imagine when they say, okay, so create a place in your mind that's just yours. This is what I picture, right? I picture this little nature grove with the soft moss and grass and, you know, trickling stream that makes kind of almost a laughing sound by the way it goes over the stream, the rocks in the stream, and, you know, birds and bees, and, you know, maybe a deer stops by to take a drink every now and then, and, you know, doesn't start at my presence because it knows that I'm not there to mess with it, right? It's just hanging out, and I'm not there hanging out, you know. And I picture myself with, like, a little, maybe, you know, comfy moss spot under the roots of a big old oak or something, right? And, you know, maybe a good book, you know, and some lemonade. that's my place, right, where I go, that's, you know, just mine to be peaceful in my mind. So this all reminds me of that so much, the way it looks in my head. It's amazing. Okay. Since the Great Strife, I don't know what the Great Strife is, called by some the God War, oh no, we touched on this in another article before, was a period of approximately 100 years when the Astralar, who had divided into two major camps, the light and the dark, warred amongst themselves. The war, of course, was also carried out on Carterion by the followers of the gods. The result was devastation all across Carterion. No, I don't want the pretty birdies to be destroyed. Okay, lands were forever marred, populations were wiped out, cultures were wiped out. It has been 2,200 years since the war ended. Carterion is still recovering. Yikes. Well, I mean, when the gods go to war. Okay. Since the Great Strife, one would assume the nymphs would be harder at work than ever, attempting to restore Carterion to the natural glory it enjoyed before the gods waged war across the world. One would be right, you need a T at the end of right. Right now it says re. Ah, my chat stopped in the thing. Okay. Well, I'll reload this page then. Okay, just a second. This was working so well with having my video thing going in my phone. Typos, yeah. I'll be back, says Esong. Okay. Bob says, sorry, I'm about to spoil your vision, which I obviously missed before while my chat had stopped. Alright. Back to work. Alright. One would be right in this assumption, but sadly there are fewer nymphs now to complete this work. Well, that makes sense. War causes attrition. For when Atazana created the nymphs, she granted them, it says then, and you want them, obviously, an eternal lifespan. But this did not mean they could not be killed. Yeah, that's very depressing. A great many were killed during the strife. Okay, I don't think you need that, right? I think you can take that part of the sentence entirely out. The reader is smart. Don't forget that the reader is smart. This is one of the big mistakes that people make in writing. They I can figure out from the Great Strife there was a war, and now there are few nymphs because they could be killed. That a great many were killed during the strife. So that's just a redundant. Take it out. That's my advice. Okay. Start with, now it is left to those who remain to tend Birdia's gardens in every corridor of Carterion. This they do as best they can. But the elven sages fear they are slowly losing the battles against not only the fell creatures, but also the indifference of the folk who spread everywhere across Carterion as well. Okay, I realize that newscasters are doing this all over the place, and that this has become a way in which people talk, but you do not need to say also and as well. They mean the same thing. They should not be in the same sentence. Pick one, right? But also the indifference of the folk who spread everywhere across Carterion. Or I think it would be better to use, but the indifference of the folk who spread everywhere across Carterion as well. Right? You don't need both. Unfortunately, the human sages are not so learned in the ways of Birdia's creations, and while the humans have mastered the arts of growing certain crops for their use, that's unfinished. Unfortunately, the human sages are not so learned in the ways of Birdia's creations. I would start a new sentence. While the humans have mastered the arts of growing certain crops for their use, what? Right? Right? Maybe and while isn't what you wanted there. Perhaps although. Right? Because the sentence would make sense if you said, unfortunately, the human sages are not so learned in the ways of Birdia's creations, although they have mastered. We have humans, and we don't need humans again then, right, in that case. Although they have mastered the arts of growing certain crops for their use. That's my suggestion. I think that would probably make the most sense based on what you've got going on there. Okay. They tend wheat and barley for bread and beer, and flax to spin into linen. Okay, just making sure I hadn't missed anything, right? They grow root vegetables and gourds to feed themselves through cold winter when crops do not grow, and tend fruit trees to harvest for the delicacies. But sadly, the human sages, pioneers, and farmers do not understand the importance of the creatures they call pests and vermin. Aha! They believe their crops grow and spread because of their tending, and do not see... You've got the twice. You only need one, right? But typo, yeah. And do not see the work of Birdia's insignificant creatures or the nymphs that watch over them. The humans have noticed that since the strife, there are places where they cannot grow things, or you don't need that, or there are places that long ago were fertile, but are not, I think you meant now, but are now barely able to sustain a crop. They have not noticed, though, that these are the areas where the Fae no longer dwell, where there is nobody to restore the lost web of interdependence that Birdia intended. They do not notice because they never really noticed the Fae in the first place, or at least never recognized that they had a purpose. As the Elven sages say, they are learning now, but are not even aware of the teaching. Fair enough. And I like your across the bottom deal here. Aye, me harvest will be lean again this year, Adric. This land's been nothing but hard luck since I cleared it. Took a year to get rid of them pesty sprites and pixies, too. They kept busying themselves around the trees and plants. Dang nuisance they were. Yep, another year of bad harvest. Don't know how many more my fam and me'll survive. Pioneer farmer in the frontier lands talking with a friend. And now I'll read the sidebar, as suggested. The fate of the Fae in the northern frontier. In all Carterion, one of the areas most devastated by the destruction of the Great Strife... my chat's not working again here. Okay. Yeah, something missing there. Yeah. Alright, I think we got it though. I wonder, is there a mode I can do on my phone that's just, like a just text mode? There's gotta be a way to do that, right? When I'm watching a stream. It said, do your stream manager on your phone, but it always does that, like, after you've done your stream, so I haven't set that up yet. Okay, I'm just checking this out to see if I can... Ah. Okay. Let's try shutting this down and booting it back up again, shall we? Aha! There we go. That's what I wanted. That's what you want to do. Stream manager from phone. Yep. Does it turn sideways at all? Because it's not. Right? I'm trying to like flip it landscape and put it on my, rest it on my pop cab there. Pain in my ass. No. Okay. I guess it lives there. Alright. So if you hear a loud crash, that was my phone falling down. Okay. Stupid thing. Okay, I'll start this again. The fate of the Fae in the northern frontier. In all of Carterian, one of the areas most devastated by the destruction of the Great Strife was the lands between, the lands between the Feywood and the Sea to the north. Most of the Fey creatures that had called these lands home were destroyed in the battles that raged. When the fighting was done, the Fae of the forest to the south had to spread themselves more thinly than ever before. Sadly, as the Fae came from the south to restore the natural order to the lands, the humans came from the north and west to reclaim their farms, fields, and grazing lands. They saw the nymphs as pests. Dryads would keep trees from being cleared for land. Naiads would prevent streams from being diverted to water crops. And the lemoniads in the meadows and the sprites and pixies everywhere were simply pests. I would say vermin at this point because you've already used pests in the paragraph. They saw the nymphs as pests, right? So back here I'd say vermin, or other way around, right? Use vermin in one area and pests in the other. They were driven off or even killed by would-be settlers that saw them as annoyances. Okay. You don't need this either, that saw them as annoyances. Again, the reader is smart. You're being kind of redundant, and I got the idea, like, you've really emphasized the fact that they, consider them to be the same as, potato bugs and, slugs. So, you really don't need that, especially that last sentence. The most bulk of the paragraph's good because it's got the feel of poetic repetition, and that's fine, but I would just end the sentence. They were driven off or even killed by would-be settlers. Or even just settlers, right? The greater nymphs and the elves have since educated, quote-unquote, the humans, moving into the Feywood itself, marking it clear that they must respect the lands and all its creatures if they wish to remain in the forest. But the damage in the lands to the north of the Great Forest is already done. There are not enough nymphs left in the Feywood to spread to the Northlands, and unless or Atazana designs or deigns to awaken more, the future is bleak for the northern frontier. That is beautiful. What a great article. I love this idea of Fae as pollinators. This is really a neat concept, and I love your presentation. I love the idea. You know, I see metaphors, of course, in our own world, which is obviously part of your intention here, right? You're saying something about the way humans treat the natural world in our reality. And awesome, right? It's absolutely awesome. Beautiful stuff. Good writing. Well done. All right, we're a quarter after 2, and I meant to take a break at 2 o'clock. So I'm going to take my break now, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, sorry about that. I'm back, guys. Barbarossa, cheers! You said label out, so... Oh, I love this stuff, actually. This is a rose lemonade, carbonated, made by Fentimans, and it like contains rose oil. It's really good. First day with my rented lips. Rowan has showed up. Hello, Rowan. Welcome. She says, I have been busy making biogos today. I don't think biogos is what you meant, is it? Or if it is, then please explain what a biogo is, because I don't know. So, yeah. Might want to put on my glasses to read. That's what they're for. Okay. Yeah, ingredients: carbonated water, beet sugar, clarified lemon juice from concentrate, glucose syrup, of course, fermented ginger root extract. Oh, that's the spicy. Pear juice concentrate, lemon and orange flavorings, tartanic acid, citric acid, color from red cabbage extract, and Bulgarian rose oil. You only need like a teeny bit of rose oil. And rose oil is actually like really good for the skin, especially for those of us who choose to express as female, right? It's, you only need a little bit, right? So, also kind of a good hormone balancer, so tasty. Have I tried the rose petal jelly I left you yet? You know what happened to the rose petal jelly is I think Jamie ate it. Because I haven't seen it since. He never gets enough jam in the house. So I think it's like gone. So I didn't even get to try it. I'm disappointed. More! Next time, more! I'll pick your rose petals. Wow, I must have been thirsty. I drank most of that bottle. Okay. So I'm going to start tippity-tapping again on my article. Not that one, because that was Bob's and it was great. We're going to go here. Next year, I will put it in bigger jars. Awesome. Thank you very much. We might still have it. It might be buried in the back of my fridge, but I haven't seen it since. And Jamie, like, attacks the jam when it shows up. Because nobody ever thinks to buy it, but he loves it. Right? So, okay. 1 in 1,000. However, perhaps 1 in 1,000 starseeds are male. To an untrained eye, they are indistinguishable from female starseeds, but... Oh, Rowan says, it also goes amazing just in hot water and drunk as a tea. I bet it does. Rose tea is always good. I bet that's a nice sweet rose tea. I bet it's really tasty. Okay, to an untrained eye, they're indistinguishable from female starseeds. But they tend to lean to a more aerodynamic design, shape. It's not really design, right? And are, okay, now, when worked, I don't know, I'll talk about the wings first. They also have larger wings than their female counterparts. When shaped by the druids and high mages, well, archmages, I think I said, archmages of the Avil. I think I have an Avalonian Empire article, or at least I have a stub. I really should, like, write that. Okay, when shaped by the druids and archmages of the Avalonian Empire, they are more usually configured into fast, super fast, no, into fast, extraordinarily maneuverable versions of their ship's class. It tastes like happiness, says Rowan. The rose jelly tea. That sounds amazing. I think you sent me the recipe already, but would you mind sending me the recipe again over Discord? I would really love to include the recipe for rose jelly as an elf recipe, because I think that they would totally make that. So. You think I pinned it? Okay, good. In that case, I will go back and find it. See, this is why I need people to remind me of the, you know, I'll pin things in my Discord and I'll be like, I'll come back to that later, and then I forget that I pinned it. This happens with every method of note-keeping I try to do. This is why I need World Anvil. Okay. To fast, extraordinarily maneuverable versions of their ship's class. It was Alessander Tremaine who observed that ships with a reputation for being excellent dog fighters are more likely to be male. Instead of containing thousands of stigma, the hexagonal crystals of a male starseed's carapace, a shell. It's a shell. Shell. That Kitty would like to go out. And therefore, the rules is when Kitty wants out, that means that Kitty has to come and say hi to the stream. So we will do that. Would you like to go out? You have to meet my stream people first. Yes. Hi, Bob. Nay. This is Scooter. You guys have probably seen him before. He's sulking because he wants to go down. Hey, baby. Who's a pretty kitty? Yeah. Who's a pretty kitty? Yeah, Philadelphia by Night says needs more browser tabs, which is hilarious considering I'm the queen of browser tabs. And Mikaro is back. That's a mountain lion. No, I'm 5 feet tall. That's what it is. He's not a mountain lion. He's a, you know, he's a bigger kitty. He's old, but He's, you know, he's not a huge kitty. All right, out you go, bud. It's funny. Ah, and you posted the link in the chat for me, Rowan. Thank you very much. Why is it that every time I get up from this damn chair, I roll over the cord on the headphones? Rawr. Okay. No, I'm just short. He's not a mountain lion. He has a very leonine temperament, though. Yeah, he's very much like a, you know, king lion of our pride. So, you did not pin it, and of note, I massage the rose petals into the sugar like the monks used to in medieval times. Okay, thank you in that case. A zap strap to make it a bit shorter would help. Yeah, but then the problem is, of course, if I get up too suddenly, I'll jerk it out of the thing, right? So, you're probably right, though. I have terrible cord discipline. You know, kind of like my browser tabs, right? Okay, so I'm selecting the link so that I have it for the next time. I don't know why I didn't pin it. I obviously wasn't thinking. Okay. Thank you very much. Now I'll get back to work. Yeah, I probably should zap strap it up. You're right. Okay. Instead of containing thousands of stigma, the hexagonal crystals of a male starseed shell contain thousands of, and I think they're called stamen, but I'm going to double check just to make sure I got that right. Male part of the flower that produces pollen. Yep, stamen. So, is it stamen or stamens when it's pluralized here? Hey, Dazzlecat, nice to see you. Welcome. Stamens, okay. Okay. Contains thousands of stamens. Is it stigma or stigmae, actually? I should look that up too. Plural of stigma plant. Stigmas or stigmata. Neat. I like stigmata as a plural. I think I'm going to use that. Nah, I might confuse the meaning, eh? Stigmas. Okay. Dazzlecat asks, has anyone watched Cursed on Netflix? No, I have not. I don't know about anybody else. How I do TV is I hear about shows that are really popular in the nerddom, and then I go and binge them on like Netflix and the like when I have the time, right? Which means that I'm often months behind and things like that, but then I will watch them later. So Rowan says, nope, but Noctiluna was great. That sounds good. Thousands of, I think I'll say microscopic, because people can't see them, right? There are thousands of microscopic stigmas in each hexagon, creating maximum opportunity for pollination as the stigmas literally cover the starseed shell. Instead of containing thousands of stigmas, the hexagonal crystals of a male starseed shell contain thousands of stamens. I'll say microscopic stamens again. Which constantly produce pollen. Yes, this is my pollinator article there, Dazzlecat. I'm almost finished it, so I'll go over it when we're done. It relates to a life form I've already created, and so I may run the life form past people first before I read the pollinator article, maybe, or at least a brief explanation of what it is. And Esong was interested in that, but she's gone at the moment, but she said she'd be back, so. All right. Which constantly produce pollen. For the most part, this goes unnoticed. However, the savvy will quickly realize, well, a savvy captain will eventually realize that their ship leaves a trail wherever it goes. Within the broad, or the vastness of the void, these particles of starseed pollen are so insignificant that they are never noticed. But the residue of pollen may be visible, or may linger. How about linger? Linger. Cool, keep typing, says Dazzlecat. Alright. The residue of pollen may linger when a male starseed is engaged in slower maneuvers such as fleet movements. When left when left idle in space, or when sitting in dry dock for extended periods, a male starseed will build up pollen residue. The pollen, like the starseeds themselves, is iridescent. Therefore, the starseed develops sparkling coating over this has been described by some starfarers as pixie dust. Okay. I think I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to go back and decide if my starseeds will die. I don't think so. I don't think so. There, where they... where they enter a state of hibernation. Over eons, they may slowly wither and die without access to the energy of the star to sustain them. Macaro says, that is not dead which can eternal lie. Stranger eons, death may die. Okay, anyway. Exactly. I don't love that I don't have to save, it's just saving. That's convenient for me. Okay, have I done anything in the sidebar? Nope, I have not. So, here's my preview. Yeah, and that's there, and I want that to be clearly visible. I like that this is a nice short article. I usually go way over word count. So I'm very pleased that this is not a big article. Somewhere in here is my word counter, right? There's a built-in word counter. I never see where the damn thing is. So, special actions? No, that's not it. Metadata? Yeah. 867 words only so far. Good for me. Okay. I mean, it really doesn't need to be much longer than this, actually. So let's do a thing on... the properties of starseed pollen. Now, see, now I'm trying to remember what we did, because Aaron added something in our role-playing game specifically about the starseed pollen, and I don't remember exactly what it did. It had some kind of healing properties. May also have had, like, buffing properties. Like, when constantly consumed, right? Well, I'll ask him about that in a minute. I think I'll do the other stuff here, because I'm almost at 3 o'clock, and that'll be another break. And by the way, for those of you who showed up since I said otherwise, Rowan, Dazzlecat, Mikaro, right? This is kind of the community hangout stream as opposed to the I'm going to get work done stream. So if you have articles you want to share, today's the day, right? So, and that'll be, like, that's the pattern I'm going to try to do between Wednesday and Sunday. Right, I'll see how that works, because this tends to be a quieter stream. So maybe it'll end up working better if I flip them. But, and do Diane Wrights on Sundays and Sable's WorldForge on Wednesdays. I don't know. Right? But this is the experiment we're currently going to do, and we're going to see how well that works. Okay. Also, programming notes. Toy Soldiers Old School tomorrow night is canceled. We're resuming next week because one of our members is moving and another one is where they're moving into. So we figure they're going to be pretty busy. So we're going to hold off for a week. Just FYI. So let's see. I have 12 viewers and you're all so quiet. Okay. That's alright. Oh, no, you're not. My stupid, bloody type thing didn't work again. Just stopped working. Oh, why did you stop working? You're so silly. This is not working as well as I hoped. Go back to Stream Manager. Alright, so what did I miss? Dazzlecat says, ooh, it's bleeding. I hate when my typing is red. Esong is back. Hi, Esong. Esong says, but if you don't flip some, you'll get more work done. Yeah, are you replacing it with another Diane Wright stream? No, I was thinking that I might do Diane Wright's on Sundays and Sable's WorldForge on Wednesdays. We'll have to see, right? This tends to be a quieter stream, I guess, because people are busy on Sundays. And, that's cool. But if it's the quieter stream, then it makes sense that this might be the stream time that's better to get more work done. And I might be discouraging people by not allowing a lot of chat on Wednesdays, right? So, I'm going to have to play it by ear. That's not what I'm doing this week. This week I'm going to try my sprint system plan thing on Wednesday, but I'm going to try that for 2 weeks. And if I find that it's, people would rather talk, then maybe I'll switch them around, right? So, yeah. Dazzlecat says, yes, moving is difficult. Packing, unpacking. Yeah, and he's gonna move like 1,000 miles, right? Well, 1,000 kilometers. So, oh, they canceled Monday Night Toy Soldiers game. Are you replacing that with another stream? That's a good question. I might. I didn't even think about it. I thought, well, that's game night. We're not gaming. So, I didn't have any formal plans to, but I see. I gotta talk to people to set things like that up because a lot of people use this computer, and I don't use this computer usually on Mondays, right? So, but I might. Can you make informal plans hopeful? Well, yeah, I might try. Why not? Sure. Right? It probably won't be on the calendar, and if it is, it'll be scheduled like late tonight. But yeah, why not? I got the time, I suppose. I might as well spend it writing. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, maybe I'll try out the sprint for the first time, the sprint setup then, and use it for working. My streams never make it to calendar, says Esong. I've noticed that. I have to follow you to keep an eye on when you are streaming. So yeah, it's cool. Monday as in tomorrow, says Dazzlecat. Okay, some people are Virgos and they have plans. I am a Pisces. I fly by the seat of my pants. I'm much more comfortable flying by the seat of my pants. So, yeah, I'm cool with that. Ironically, I'm a Virgo. Do you know what? You didn't tell me that, but I knew. I am Aries, says Dazzlecat. That I did not guess. I wasn't sure. I figured a fire sign. Yeah, Esong says, my schedule is too erratic to do anything too permanent. that's got to drive you insane. I bet it drives you insane, right? Because, you know, I'm okay. Astrology, if we're basing it just on, okay, there's no reason for astrology to work. I find astrology is kind of like reading tarot. It's best when it's interpreted artfully, and you kind of have to have the whole picture. Like, there's more than just the month you were born in that determines different planetary influences, right? If you look at all the different things going on, it can sometimes say a lot, which I find very interesting. And you can find meaning in it, right? Like Saturn. Saturn is your planet of challenges and karmic struggles. My Saturn is in the sign of Cancer, right? Which is about nurturing and feeling nurtured. So I have difficulty in my life with either feeling nurtured, right? Or effectively nurturing other people. I think I come across harsher than I intend to a lot, or colder than I am. And, often the people in my life who matter the most to me feel unappreciated, right? And it's something I've always struggled with. And knowing that about my chart makes me go, okay, right? For one thing, it gives me patience with it. And I can remind myself, well, if I'm not feeling supported right now, it's probably just me, right? And it also helps me to make a bigger effort to be more supportive towards people in my life, because, I want to make sure that they know that I appreciate them, right? So, yeah, it can be helpful that way. But anyway, Virgos, every Virgo I have ever met, right, fits that need to plan, right? There's a lot of aspects of the stereotype that they don't fit necessarily. And that's because if you believe in astrology at all, you could say it's because other planets have different influences, and you're looking at a whole picture, right? Not just one thing. So other influences may overwhelm the sun sign. But that planning thing, that's hard to shake. That's hard to shake. So, oh, guess what I am, says Stelian. Aquarius. Bob says, I'm a Pisces. Not surprised. Didn't know, but not surprised. And a chronic overplanner, except in writing. I bet that your moon sign has something in it, which is like an earth sign of some kind that leads you to be more of a planner. Remember, I said it's not just one thing, right? You have to look at the whole chart. Delta says, I only know my sign, no idea how to figure everything out. Okay, I actually do know how to figure a lot of this out. I'm not like an expert on astrology. I have some really basic knowledge as far as it goes. There are people who are professional astrologers who have been studying it for years and do charts, and they're amazing. I'm not that person. I'm, an interested amateur. But if you guys want me to do a stream about astrology in world building, right, so that you can like have an idea how that all works, and maybe from that create your own astrology system, I would be happy to do that. That's totally fine. Yeah. As you well know, okay, nope, you're a Capricorn. I was wrong. Awesome. Okay, 5th of January. No idea what any of that stuff means, though. I'd be interested in seeing the rest of your chart. Right? Oh, when I think about it, though, okay. All right, so my moon sign is Capricorn. I like to joke that this is what prevents me from being a total flake. Right? Because, okay, very important things in your aspect are your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign. Okay, your sun sign is kind of like the basic framework of your personality. Your moon sign is like your subconscious influences and the things you're usually not aware are driving you, but they're important. They're like your id and they drive you, right? And your rising sign is how everybody else sees you, right? And sometimes they can be vastly different, right? For example, in my case, I'm a Pisces by sun sign, and in many ways I fit the stereotype, right? I'm creative, imaginative. I was a professional tarot reader at one point, so clearly, if you believe in psychic powers, I believe I have some, right? I thought I was pretty good at that. Other people thought so too. They kept coming back, so, you know, in as much, I have my own theory on that. It's not like, it's not I see dead people like the Sixth Sense, okay? It's totally different in real life, but it's more like an intuitive sense, right? And it could very well be scientific perfectly explainable stuff that drives that intuitive stuff, the jury is out, right? But I'm not going to get into that right now. That's big. Okay. But, yeah. Okay. So, you know, I fit a lot of the stereotypes. Sometimes I waffle over decisions. But places where I don't fit the stereotype is one thing is that I'm, oh yeah, and I am emotional, right? Um, I am not wishy-washy. Once I have made a decision, I might hesitate over it, but I've made it, right? Um, there's, you know, a few things like that. Okay, so my moon sign is Capricorn, right? Capricorn is an earth sign, and it's about ambition and about being success driven. This is why I respond well to things like badges and, you know, achievements. I'm not in competition with anybody. It's not about competition. Aries tend to like those, right? It's more about proving myself to myself, right? So you know, like, and that's the thing that kind of keeps me a bit more grounded than many of the Pisces that I've met, even though I have lots of air signs all over the place too, which are kind of out of this world. But my rising sign is Sagittarius. So people perceive me as being this charge into the fray, battle maiden, go-getter. I'm going to kick ass and take no prisoners, right? Because, you know, Sagittarius are like that. Their fire signs are very forward and direct. And so people think I'm an extrovert. That's one thing. But in reality, I'm an introvert. And I often extend myself far beyond my own energetic capabilities. And I need to take time to be quiet with myself and rest. But, and also I'm, like I said, I'm emotional, right? So I seem like I have a really thick skin, but I don't. I don't. I'm very easily hurt. And thinking that I am like a Sagittarius, people often beat me over the head when they want to make an emotional point, and they really could have done it much more gently, and it would have been okay, right? So it can create conflict. And that's just three of the aspects, right? There's other things like the way you think, the way you love, you know, where you're likely to achieve success in life, your religious inclinations, stuff like that can often be indicated in your total zodiac. You'll find if you actually sit down with a professional astrologer, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I'm not a professional astrologer. I'm not that good, right? So, do I still do readings? From time to time. I don't do them as often as I used to because I think I am a Pisces. And okay, I know that sounds weird, but hear me out. When people come to you for tarot, right? Um, Usually they're either in crisis or they need help making a decision. So a good part of the job is counselor. It's not actually like predictor, right? It's more like, here are your options, and getting people to talk about what it is that they're struggling with, and then lay out what the cards say in terms of, if you continue on this current path that you're intending to continue on, this is the likely outcome, right? And I'm not sure, again, jury's out, right? The minute you start talking about things like tarot reading and astrology, people who are, you know, very much, they tune you out, right? They think, okay, well, they're a flake. They believe in, you know, the boogeyman, right? Not necessarily. I often think that this stuff is probably more psychology than it is magic per se, right? But it could be magic. I don't really understand how it works. So, jury's out, right? I don't make any determination as to why it works. I just know that it does. I don't understand how my VCR worked either, or my CD player, right? Okay, I actually know more about how a CD player works than I did about how a VCR worked, right? What I knew is I plugged the thing into the machine and it worked, right? So that's kind of how I treat that. Yes, so I will still do readings, but they're emotionally difficult, right? And sometimes I just don't have the energy, right? It's my point behind all that. But yeah, you guys want, my standard rate was $15 for 20 minutes or $55 an hour. So I see no reason to change that, but there it is. Or, you know, you can ask me to do it as a friend, you know, if we've got that kind of friendship going where we help each other out, which is fine. Okay. I have a hard time imagining a wishy-washy Sable, says Esong. Me too. Yeah, Esong's like, love badges, exactly. Earth sign people often respond well to stuff like that. Tangible evidence of their accomplishments. And that's okay. That's really okay. There's a reason why we use them, you know? Dinosaur Bob says, oh wait, no, okay, Dazzlecat says, do I have to admit that? You don't have to admit anything. Okay. Dinosaur Bob says, okay, quick internet check. Sun sign Pisces, moon sign Aquarius. That's interesting. That is interesting. Okay. That is very interesting. I would love to know what your rising sign is. Because I don't perceive that at all. But that's... You... Okay, by that indication alone, if I didn't have anything else to indicate... okay, so you're constantly in conflict between... Or trying to find the balance. And maybe not conflict isn't the word, right? But you're constantly trying to find the balance between this is what I know and this is what I feel. Right? And you try to find a way to bring those two things together whenever you can. Because Aquarius is an air sign, and it's about your intellect. Aquarius types, it's about being a free thinker, right? So you're probably extremely creative. You probably come up with some amazing ideas. I bet you're the type of kid who probably had imaginary friends. Imaginative play was always more interesting to you than, I don't know, sports, right? Where there was a set rule set and you know, you did the things. You were probably far more interested in being in your own world. I bet you started reading early. How am I doing? Because, like, I mean, that's not the whole picture, but, like, that's what I would think based on those two pieces of information. But you come across as more grounded than I would expect from someone with a sun sign Pisces and a moon sign Aquarius. It's interesting. Okay, Rowan says, or they need an outside source to tell them what they already knew and did not want to face. Rowan is so right, and that's the hardest one. She's talking about tarot reading, because, of course, she also used to be a professional tarot reader, right? I own a metaphysical store, technically, but we were living together, so she worked there, and we were pooling our finances, right? So she did it too. And the hardest one is when the cards are clearly, and you know, you've done enough work that you know this person is just not admitting something, and they get mad at you, some people, when you don't tell them what they want to hear, right? These people want to go to the carnival barker, right, and go get, you know, the gypsy fortune teller in the scarves with the crystal ball in the, you know, tent room, right? They don't really want tarot reading. They don't want to, they want you to confirm what they think, right? And the cards won't do that because that's not how it works. So I've had people storm out angry and refuse to pay me, right? And then come back like 6 months later and apologize, right? So, you know, and that's rough. That's rough. Okay. Aaron says, prediction is hard, especially about the future. Yes. Delian says, computers are also magic as far as I can tell. Rowan agrees, sheer sorcery. Exactly. They kind of are magic. How do we store information on crystals? Come on now, that's some Merlin level shit, okay? Right? But, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's the other thing. Prediction is hard because always in motion, the future, difficult to see, right? So there would be no point in having the ability to foretell the future if you could not change it. That would just be cruel, don't you think? Because why give us a warning? You know? So free will matters. Just because you're on a current course that suggests that things are going to turn out this way if you continue in this fashion doesn't mean that you can't change your mind and do something else. And then what the tarot reader saw isn't going to be, and good in some cases, because the whole point of it is to try to help people make better decisions in their lives. And uh it's to help. That's what it's for. It's to help people. Right. Bob said, no imaginary friends, did some sports, avid reader, and DMing for 40 plus years in homebrew worlds. That's got to count for creative play. Yep. Yep. We never gave that up, those of us who continue to do role-playing games and write, right? So Rowan says, which is why we always made it clear we did not sugarcoat things. No. No. Hey, Aegon, nice to see you. Welcome. You just missed my little dissertation on being a professional tarot reader and how that works, and a little foray into astrology. But, yeah. But that's totally cool. I was saying, if people are interested in that kind of thing, I can always do streams that are kind of tutorials to talk about how that works in the current Western occult tradition anyway. I don't, yeah, let me know if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, right, for information. You got some real cool tarot cards coming from a Kickstarter. Awesome, Aegon, right on. What's the tarot deck theme? Because I'm always interested in cool tarot cards. If I had more money, I would collect them more. As it is, I try to keep it on the down low. I've only got a few tarot decks, because, like, a couple. Esong says, Moon, Libra, Gemini ascending. Uh-huh, okay. Okay, so, based on that information there, Esong, and knowing that you are a Virgo, right, I would say that you probably, one of your big frustrations in life is not being taken as seriously as you want to be taken. You probably get, I don't know, you might even feel it's gender based, that people might dismiss your process, but and I haven't seen this in the community, mind you, right? But I can see how that might be the case in the outside world. It makes sense with that configuration that you would be a teacher, right? Because you're at least partially driven by intellectual things, right? The Libra is the balance, the scales, right? They're their eternal devil's advocate. They can always see the other side of the coin, which sometimes is really helpful and sometimes is really frustrating, right? But it's an air sign, right? And most air signs are associated with that. And Gemini's even worse, because Gemini's like two minds of everything, right? They're the twins. So I'd also say, since that it's your ascending sign, you're probably often quickly pegged into either being this wonderful, amazing, perfect person, or this absolutely horrible person. I would imagine the former happens more than the latter, right? And because you also tend to be very, like, that Libra thing makes you very gregarious, right? Like, people, uh, you talk well, right? And people tend to respond to that. They like you when they get to communicate with you. But some people probably just don't like you at all. And you don't understand why. You have no idea. You're like, I didn't do anything to this person. I don't know what I said. And they just don't. And yes, that's a lot of air signs. So it's probably really good that you have Virgo as your earth sign, because it keeps you grounded. Well, it's an earth sign, it's your sun sign, and it keeps you grounded, right? This is a very good profile for someone who wants to succeed in a professional career. If you decided that you wanted to go into something like, oh, I don't know, PR, advertising executive, something where the job, man, diplomat, right? Something where the job is entirely based on communicating with people, but there's a very serious grounded nature that's required, and planning is important, you would absolutely excel. But being a teacher is not surprising. Yeah, teacher. Sure, because you like learning, right? And you like talking about what you've learned. And that you like communicating with people. And yeah, you like to have something that's like grounded, right? And has a you know, like, you would do better with a syllabus than with kind of you know, free form style learning, I think. I guess. Okay. All right, so we have a look at this tarot deck. Dinosaur Bob says brief dinner break, be back soon. That's cool. Let's look at this tarot deck. I'm always interested in looking at tarot decks. Am I on the right screen? No. Yes, I am. There we go. Oh, that's pretty. The Adventurer's Tarot. Oh, hell yeah! Fantasy-themed card oracle for use in the 5th edition D&D and other fantasy role-playing games. Funded in 90 minutes. Wow. Holy shit, they made more than 10 times what they were asking for. Wow. Wow, that's gorgeous. I see why it was funded so quickly. Gold stamp front and back. Masterfully rendered and designed by artist Brenda Ho. My goodness. Alright, baby, if you're watching the stream, you know what to get me for Christmas. That is awesome. Oh, it's not a Rider-Waite deck. The major and minor arcana are not written on the cards, and there's no direct one-to-one conversion to every card in the traditional deck. Okay, then they lied. They should not be calling it a tarot deck. What it is an oracle deck, which is fine. I've used those too. I have a marvelous oracle deck that's like animals, Celtic animals. But unless it follows the traditional tarot pattern, like a Rider-Waite, it's not a tarot deck. But it's beautiful, my goodness. And its own role-playing interpretations. I want this. Wish I'd seen the Kickstarter. Holy crap. An alternate initiative system? Make a deck with the classes of each adventurer in your party. If your adventurer has advantage on initiative, they get 2 cards in the deck. Okay. When an encounter begins, add 1 adversary card for each enemy group the party is fighting. The GM makes a note of which enemy group aligns with which adversary card. Shuffle the deck, reveal the first card. Whoever is revealed takes their turn. Players with 2 cards in the deck can choose to take their turn on the first or second draw. In this example, Rogue was drawn first. She initiated combat. The Ranger, with advantage on initiative, was revealed next and decided to take her turn sooner rather than later. After that, the adversary card was drawn, which activated the Goblin's turns. The DM will reveal each card until the deck runs out at the end of the round. She will then shuffle the cards again and repeat the initiative divining process. That's awesome. They've played the system. Yeah, I can see how that would work. Do a reading for yourself, your players, or their characters. Conjured up a set of instructions to use the tarot deck for a more traditional reading. 3-card spreads. Yeah, sure. Three card spreads could be. I imagine you could even do a traditional Celtic cross with this. This is freaking cool. So they did all their stretch goals. This is so awesome. I want this. You know what? I want this so bad. I'm going to open up my Discord. I'm going to put this in it so that Aaron can get it, because I want him to get it for me. Just in case. I don't know if he's watching still. Aegon says, I'd make a terrible ambassador. Oh, wait, no, I missed more stuff back here. Yeah, Esong liked the brief astrology reading I did. That's cool. Macaro said, heck, for the Amber RPG, I used to pick some of these terms tarot structure to construct what rough meanings each card had and use that for the predictions I made for characters. I've used tarot readings that are actually done like tarot readings in our Scion game. I was playing one of the Loa, and she did divination for a living, right? So she would do readings that I would then interpret in game. And I used my tarot deck and I just laid out the reading. And then I think that Aaron was responding to what came up to see how he would interpret it, right? So that is fantastic, Aegon. Aegon says, and I'd make a terrible ambassador. We'd have been in World War III already. Yeah, but I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Esau. That her profile in her combination of sun, moon, and rising sign suggests that she would probably make a good ambassador. Okay, there. Now I've sent the link to Aaron. I just want it. Hey, Siobhan, welcome. Sorry it took me so long to respond. I was absorbed in the tarot deck. Everybody's oohing and awing over the tarot deck. Yeah, they were beautiful, says Aegon. I couldn't resist Kickstartering it. No doubt. Funny thing was, they were accurate for the characters. Oh, talking about the tarot readings in game. Yeah, Siobhan played that game. Esong says, be back. Dinner break. Okay, yeah, enjoy your dinner. I'm going to take a quick break again here momentarily, and then I'll get back at work. Siobhan says, should be at work, but I just can't right now. Yeah, I totally hear you there. Maybe you should think about taking some mental health EI. Because that's the second time in a couple of days, and, you know, and I don't blame you, but yeah, I had a panic attack on the way there today. That is a good reason for a mental health EI break. Go see your doctor. That's my advice, hon. And I'm sorry to hear it. This tarot deck is absolutely cool. I wonder how much it costs. I'll click on the pre-order button. I don't even need to see the video. I am going to watch the video later, though. From 40 bucks. 40 bucks isn't unreasonable for a beautiful tarot deck like that. That's well within the standard pricing that would... Oh, and free shipping in the US. Okay, we have a friend in the US we sometimes ship things to for that why. But yeah. Deck. Oh, deck and bag and card sleeves cost more. Okay. Oh, they sell it with card sleeves. What a good idea. Oh my god. Okay. I haven't seen something I wanted this bad in a long time. That's awesome. That is so pretty. I would totally use this too. I would even use it in readings because, hey, it's not like I don't know role-playing games, right? Oh, you drew the rogue. Even if they didn't have meanings, I would totally be like, well, clearly someone is being roguish towards you in your life, so perhaps someone is not giving you all the information. You know, like, the method of divination doesn't really matter, actually. Doesn't matter. That's why there's so many different versions. It's more like you use them as a catalyst to activate your intuition, right? So, yeah, and then the car wouldn't start, so $170 I couldn't afford spent on a new battery. Shitty, Siobhan, you're having a crap day. Rogue equals hermit? Yeah, roughly, I would imagine. Bard equals lovers? Yeah, that makes sense too. But they said specifically there wasn't a direct one-to-one correlation in this deck, so I'm not necessarily making that assumption. But yeah, I mean, that's what they look like to me too. Did it say that they corresponded to those? Maybe I missed it. The paladin might be the sun, I imagine. The wizard, of course, would be the magician. Even she's even drawn like the magician. Neat. Yeah, Aegon agrees. That sucks, Siobhan. Makara says one RPG I play has devil's decks, tarot card decks without certain cards that you can use to negotiate with demons, but then you're actually tied to the promise. Yeah, yeah. Why did I sigh? Because not all occult stuff is the devil, but it's always used that way in games and books, isn't it? Okay. Dazzlecat says, I'm an Aries. Rising sign Sagittarius. Sun is in Aries, moon is in Taurus. No idea what that all means. Do people tell you you're intense a lot? To, like, tone it down? You don't need to be fighting for whatever that hard, right? That you have too much energy and they can't keep up with you, right? These are all things that would be like that. Um, Moon and Taurus is very, but you're actually very grounded, right? That's Taurus is like the most grounded Earth sign. It's like Earth. So it's, I mean, Taurus people are rocks, right? They're absolute rocks. It's good to have Taurus people in your life because, when they say I'll hold the fort, they mean it. They're not going to run out of energy. Um, they're pondering actually doing a tarot deck in the future in the same style as Aegon, no doubt. I would buy that too. Makaro says, to be fair, in that RPG system, you get your magic from selling your soul to various types of demons, so it's rather built around it. Okay, fair enough. Okay, it's 20 after. I'm taking a brief break, and I will be back momentarily, maybe 5 minutes-ish. And I'm back. So what did I miss? Dazzlecat says, guess grounded firebrand fits me. Lucky you. I'm kind of jealous, actually. When you decide you want something, it's gonna happen. Heaven and earth are gonna frickin' move to make sure it happens for you. And boy, would I like that to be like, you know, a standard thing. Like, I feel like I have to be Atlas, you know, trying to get things, even some of the basic things done in my life sometimes. It's great. And sticks me firmly in the Plancer category, yes. Good grief, 32 minutes until Kahuna. Time flying by today. I noticed this stream is just like, pow, gone. I don't feel like I've gotten, like, it feels like I just started. It's amazing. So, but I got a thought. So my thought is, I'm not going to be able to do a writing stream tomorrow night. That's not going to work out for me, right? Took a moment to talk to the guys, but the guys are headed out somewhere after, like, right at the end of the stream, and I'm basically going to be trash. Drop my mouse. I'm basically going to be alone in the house. There it is. So maybe what I'll do is there'll be a break, like a good, I don't know, a good break in the middle of it. But I figure I will raid Kahuna and go and check out Kahuna Reads. But I'll just keep things running in the background and I will come back. Right? And I'll just be quietly doing some sprints, I guess, focused writing time during the time that Kahuna is on. I won't really chat. I don't want to take away from Kahuna. I actually want to listen to what Kahuna is doing. Right? Because, you know, I don't want to step on his toes. I like rating him, right? And, you know, I'll put things up when, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'll mostly be working, and then that way it's there, right? And yeah, Kahuna's reads are awesome. I like listening to him. I look forward to rating him after this stream so I can listen to him. So yeah, but I'll keep it running. I'll keep working. I will probably turn off my mic and plug my headphones into my phone so I can listen to him. And, you know, that way it'll be quietly running in the background. And if I'm still on when he's done, which I'm likely to be, because they're probably going to be gone a couple hours, right? Then I don't think there's anybody on directly after him today, is there? It's always a problem with Sunday, right? Let's see. Kahuna Reads. Oh, Davina's on after Kahuna. Okay. And it says Roll Society's on, but I find often Roll Society isn't on when they say they're going to be on. So, I don't know about that. But, you know, I don't want to step on too many people's toes. But I'd also probably like to check out what Davina is doing. So it'll probably just be music and typing with me occasionally unmuting the mic so I can, you know, say the things or whatever. But yeah, but I'll keep going for a little while, because why not? Either way. Okay. Yay, I'm home alone. Yes, I know. I got time to actually, like, do things by myself. I'm going to get some writing done. Well, editing is actually what I'm going to do. Or finish my pollinator article if I'm not done by the end of the stream. I might be, but just to round it out, Sun, Pisces, Moon, Aquarius, Ascendant, Scorpio. Ha, 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 ha. Okay. So, Pisces and Scorpio, you guys want me to just do astrological predictions all day, don't you? Okay. Pisces and Scorpio are both water signs. Scorpios tend to be, like, feeling deeply intense, right? Like, the sign Scorpio corresponds with Pluto. And so it's all those deep subconscious feelings, right? Scorpio is very concerned with the big issues in life, namely sex and death, right? These are the things that tend to drive them. They never, they think about things deeply, right? Now, as an ascendant, people perceive you that way. Sometimes they might even perceive you as being a little odd because uh, Pisces are perceived as being kind of just all over the place emotionally, right? They're often perceived as being bipolar even when they're not. Um, Aquarius are perceived as being kind of flaky, right? And Scorpios are perceived as possibly they're deep, they're intense, all they're Kylo Ren, right? That's how they're perceived, you know. But that's how you're perceived, right? Because that's your ascendant sign, right? So sometimes they creep people out, right? So that might be a thing. You might unintentionally creep people out and not realize that you are. But really, there's nothing to be concerned about because if your sun sign is Pisces and your moon sign is Aquarius, you're just very imaginative, right? A lot of free thinking, right? You were probably the guy who asked what if a lot, right? There's this thing I have about there's 4 different major ways that people learn, and it has to do with the questions they ask. And some are the what people. What is expected of me? What is 2 plus 2? What is the speed of an unladen swallow? Stuff like that, right? And that's who school is designed for. They do the best in school because they're there to learn facts. They like that. They're good at it. That's important. And cool, right? Everybody else doesn't really fit well with school, and they got to find different ways to do it. Then there's the why people. I'm kind of a why person, right? Why does 2 plus 2 equals 4? Equal 4, right? Why do I need to know that, right? If I couldn't find a reason why, I was not doing it. So because I said so was the worst possible thing you could say to me as a child. Right? I was much better off if you sat me down and explained the why. Well, the reason why I don't want you riding your bike that quickly, Diane, is because if you hit some gravel, you're going to do an endo and you're going to do a face plant and you're going to get injured, right? And I'll go, okay, that makes sense. I can see how that would happen. All right. And then I wouldn't ride my bike that fast. I was pretty good that way, but you had to explain it to me. You had to give me a reason to care, right? I did really well at school when I was young because the why for me was it seemed to make everybody else around me happy when I did well, so I tried hard. And then I became disillusioned and I didn't do as well, right? And then later on I started to care because, get it done, But they couldn't convince me why I had to do homework. My logic was I was already at school basically for 10 hours a day between getting up and going to, and, getting ready and coming home with the busing and everything else. So I figured they had enough of my time and I wasn't giving them any more. Right? So, okay. Pretty typical why person. How person takes apart the radio to see how it works. How person does better in things or to get their hands on it. They do, because they want to understand how it works. So, dissections they do really well, right? Because it's interesting because you can see how all the organs go together in the in the creature, right? Provided of course that they're not disgusted by that, right? But they tend to do well in things like home ec and auto shop and stuff like that because that tends to be very or art, right? Fine arts because they can get their hands on things, right? And figure out how it works by doing. And that's how they respond better, right? And then there's the why not people. And the why not have to break everything. They have to test the limits until it breaks, right? So, why, why don't 2 plus 3 equal 4, right? Why shouldn't I add a little extra sulfur to this mix to make it more fiery, right? They're the ones who do the least well in school because they're often labeled as troublemakers, and they don't do boredom very well. They're constantly, they tend to ask questions at church that make the minister nervous, right? Stuff like that. They're awesome, right? In that respect. We need those people, right? We have Captain Fry, breaker of World Anvil. He's a why not person, obviously. What does he do? He takes the code and he tests it until it breaks. That's why he is the breaker of YA, or WA rather. Breaker of World Anvil. That is why he is the breaker of WA. Because you need people to find the limits of things. Right? I wish we had more why not people who are making laws. Because if we had more legislators who were why not people, we would have less assholes manipulating the rules. Because the why not people would already have taken that to its logical conclusion and gone, you do realize that technically you're allowing this and this and this, don't you? Because you don't have anything that forbids it, right? So, yeah, we need the why not people. I have 25 minutes for the pollinator submission? Are you shitting me? Ah, okay. Sorry. I'm not looking at chat again until I didn't realize that. Oh my god. Time zones. I gotta get it done. I'm almost done. 14 now? I can do this. It's almost finished. Alright, we're gonna have like the E-Song Panic Stream times 2. The return of the Panic Stream. This is great. Okay. Where was I? Yes, I want to be here in order to do that. Properties of Starseed pollen. One might think that the seeds, or the byproduct of a tree of life is, or would have, some beneficial effects on life forms. And one would be right. Starseed pollen is, or has significant healing properties. When consumed, it bolsters the body's healing capabilities to an extraordinary level. Consumed over long periods of time. It also improves health and physical capabilities. It is often used by mages, witches, and clergy as an ingredient in healing or well, buffing is what the right word in gaming terminology, but I'm looking for something more in world, right? As an ingredient in healing or healing potions or compounds that enhance the physical capabilities of the body for short periods. Buffing potions. And you know what? We'll worry about adding the game statistics later. We do not need them right now. Tags. Starseed. Pollen. Tree of Life. Flora. Ships. Pollination, I guess. Excerpt. There we go. That would make a good excerpt. My excerpts are generally actually excerpts, so we don't need a related gallery. Oh, you know what I should do though, is in the sections here, I should add, where's my file manager? Am I on the right screen? Okay, yes. Images and files. Toy soldier. Do I not have Flora? Are you kidding me? Where is it? Flora. There we go. I need that picture right there. Don't need any of that. Navigation. I think this is probably a logical sub-article of Trees of Life, wouldn't you say? Okay, Tree of Life. There it is. Took me long enough to find it. I don't think I need any of this other stuff for now. Alright, let's have a view. Okay, not bad. I have one doodad. Where is it? Sections. That's what I want. That I want to do here. And that is, I want to put this in a box so that it looks nicer. And I use my allowed boxes like a frame, so. There we go. That looks nice. I can't edit it after this point, right? Alright. Open the Discord. Go to World Anvil. Am I like losing the stream here? Okay, we are on World Anvil. It'll be in the announcements. Ah, thank you for providing me the link. Alright, that's much better. Good stuff. In that case, I'll just close this down because it's just lagging like hell. Dun 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 dun. Okay. There we go. Flowers bloom. Oh shit, I forgot to publish. Okay, I better do that. Publish. There we go. Otherwise, that would have been bad. Phew! Just made it. Woot! Ha! Booyah! Alright. Deadline defeated. I have said before, and I will say again, that rank panic is often a marvelous motivator for me. So, okay. Now, what did I miss? Oh, lots of cheering. Oh, thanks, guys. I didn't even look. I was like, I just gotta get this done. So I'm like, no! Yeah, people observing where they fall on those questions and how they learn. Why not people, right? Also the what if people. It's the same thing, right? Are best, they learn best by letting them experiment and finding what those limits are, right? Give them the opportunity to break it, and then they can figure it out, because that's how they best learn the capabilities of things, right? Yeah. But school doesn't give room for that, so sometimes they do better in things like Montessori programs where they are more encouraged to be self-directed. Yeah, I enjoy risk assessment and risk management. Yes, yes, absolutely, Bob. Yeah. The why both or the why bother. Did that downhill face scrape too fast. So did I. Because nobody told me why. They just said, don't ride your bike that fast, it's dangerous. That's not sufficient explanation. You know, explaining the physics of gravel would have been explanation. Okay. Homework, what the heck is that? Yep. I agree with you. There's Siobhan. Sheldon Cooper. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good example, actually. Yeah. Rowan was a why person. Aaron is definitely a why not person. Yes, yes he is. So was his son. I love him. I do. Okay. Time to use WG method, says eSong. Hype for typing. You got this. Look at all the encouragement and energy. You guys are amazing. Thank you. eSong Panic Stream 2.0 with no hyperventilating. I want my money back. I should be worried you took too much cocaine. Yeah. Rank panic's good for me. Erin went into the stream manager and allowed twerp. Good idea. That's great. She lives for pressure. It can be a very good motivator. It gets me over procrastination for sure. I thought it was due by the end of the 31st. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. Oh look, it's a performance enhancing drug. Yes. Yes. Starseed pollen is a performance enhancing drug. I'll actually will eventually have like game statistics for that, by the way. in a little box. I figured out how I'm going to do that, by the way. Because we're creating game content that is related to 5 different systems eventually, what we're going to do, and maybe more, right, is we're going to create a little sub-container box that is... Oh, and DM Stretch rated me with a party of 1. Hello! Hello! Welcome! I actually am going to be here for a little while in the background, but we are going to raid Kahuna in a few minutes, right? Because I don't want you to miss his reads. I'm going to quietly do, or keep this going with kind of a tippity-tappity writing stream. There may be a break, right? And depending if the break is long enough, I may close the stream and open up another stream. But, yeah. Okay, yeah. Performance enhancing drug. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to take the, we're going to make a sub-container that's only going to be visible to our RPG subscribers. And then I will have links to things like... Because I'm noticing that the stat blocks for, like, the Star Kraken, for example, are huge. And they're taking up huge amounts of space. We got to do 3 different stat blocks for, like, 5 different game systems. And I'm like, okay, that's just going to be an immense article. So instead, I'm going to create sub-articles with the stat blocks that are going to be, you know, child articles of the original article, but they'll also be just a container that will have links that will take you to each of those, so that you're not overwhelmed by tyranny of choice, and you can just look at, say, the Spelljammer material, for example, if that's what you want to look at, 2nd edition D&D, right? This will be easier to do soon, because there's a rumor, and I don't know if it's true, but I'm hoping, right, that there'll be subscriber groups. Like, I thought I heard that, right? Subscriber groups that are dependent on... Yeah, that's right. That was in the other stream. In the World Anvil stream. Subscriber groups that are dependent on having another subscriber group first. Once that happens, this is going to be so much easier for RPG patrons, because all you do, once you've, you know, got your able level membership, is that you just select the game systems you want to look at, and only those will show up for you, and the stuff related for that. You don't have to pay any attention to the other stuff that you're not interested in, which I would find very helpful, personally, so I'm excited about that. So, Bob's is done anyway. Yes, it is, and it's cool. Okay, Siobhan says, I was worried I wouldn't get mine done because of being hyper-focused on writing my novel. Then I introduced a sprite character and had to finish the article. I love when that happens, when you're writing and then the creative idea that you came up with sparks another one and you have to get it done right away. And that's one of the things the World Anvil is really awesome for. Yeah. Yay, looks great. Thank you, Dazzlecat. I'm glad it does. Done with 10 minutes to spare. Yeah. Delian says, we got 2 small kitties from the shelter today. Or, well, yesterday now, since it's past midnight. Yes, I thought you were up rather late. Yeah. They are so nervous and shy still, but very cute little floofs. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so, like, are you going to show them on your stream? Because floofs. I has to see the floofs. I love little floofs. That's so cool. Hey, Black Megan. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Link. Yes, got it. Delian. Bob says to Delian, toe bean pics on eSong's Discord. Yeah, I should do that with my kitties too. Although, I will say that Scooter's toe beans are not actually that cute. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow, Jay Wilburn. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you in the channel before. Thanks for joining me. Awesome. Yeah, deadline defeated. That's right. With 9 minutes to spare. I sit corrected, says Siobhan. I think I was a what if, why person. Yeah, I think so too. Macaro says, my last 2 years of Montessori Elementary were spent reading every interesting book in the library twice. Yes, probably because you had already done the entire curriculum, right? Good for you. Siobhan says, yeah, grade 11 wipeout for me. Shredded my face. Scribe says, it's the reason I grew up hating math. Why do I need this? To take the next level of math. Why do I need that math? To take the next level of math. Why do I need that math, etc., etc.? I feel you. I felt exactly the same way about it at many points. Yeah, I actually I actually had an interest in math because I had an interest in physics, and I knew you needed math for physics, especially astrophysics, which I've been interested in from a very young age, right? And navigation, which is dependent upon trigonometry, right? So I had a motivation. So I tried really hard in math. Although I must admit that fell by the wayside rather quickly in grade 4 and 5, where they made me memorize times tables, because what the fuck is this for? The answer is it makes life easier later because you can do things quickly because you have it memorized rather than have to think about it. But, you know, try explaining that to a 10-year-old, right? But yeah, no, I feel ya. And ultimately, I did pretty well in math until my senior grades, and I barely passed grade 12 because uh, I guess I was good enough at adapting that nobody realized I had dyscalculia. But it matters when you're doing things like trigonometry and algorithms and logarithms, because if you switch those numbers when you're typing them all into your calculator, then you will not get the question right. So, um, and probably I could have done better at that were it not for the fact that since nobody realized beforehand that that was a problem at all, because I was doing well enough, I was doing B's and A's, right? Then I probably could have done much better at that, but you know, they didn't know, right? Dragon Love Water is here. Oh, I missed the rest of the stretch stream. That's a tongue twister. Um, Dan says, "Hi. Oh, okay. Yeah, just done a Diablo 3 stream and got an opportune moment to join the raid to Kahuna. You bet. Sorry I missed it. That's all right. Yeah. Everybody's saying hi. Siobhan agrees with me. We must see the kitties, Delian. We must see the kitties. I want the kitties. I'll sulk until I have kitties. Okay. Um, Scribe says it is absolutely beyond me why 5e does not have Spelljammer as a supported setting. I can tell you why. Okay. Would you like to know? This is all the gossip behind the scenes. Now remember, I was intimately involved in the Spelljammer fandom. I was one of the staff writers for Beyond the Moons, which was the official 3e conversion of AD&D Spelljammer for a while, right? And the reason why for a while is because basically when some of the designers of Spelljammer left Wizards, Spelljammer fell into copyright hell. There was competition over who owned the copyright, and then in the meantime, Piazzo made Beyond the Spider Moons, right? When as a kind of a 3E conversion, at about the time that they were just starting, like they had were moving from publishing third-party D20 products into making their own system, right? The Pathfinder system. It was right about that time that that happened, right? So then there was arguments over whether or not they even had the right to have the license because of the way, you know, because wizards are a bunch of assholes when it comes to copyright. They steal from everybody else, and then they try to legally defend the ideas that they think that they made up. And that's it, frankly. They've always been assholes like that. And so I don't think it has ever been resolved. And I'm mad at them about it now because for the past, I think it's 20 years, they've been throwing out little bits of, you know, little hints of Spelljammer stuff here and there and different products and saying, oh yeah, you know, and then there's rumors that start up, oh, are they going to do a Spelljammer adaptation for the new system? No, no, back to work, right? So, yeah, I don't believe they ever will. I think their little hints are bullshit. I wish they'd stop. Right? I don't ever believe it's going to happen. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Rowan said what I said in a much shorter way. Then they could have a Treasure Planet setting in cooperation with Disney. It's almost the same thing. Yeah, they could, except Disney is even worse about their copyrights. And unfortunately, see, a lot of these beautiful Age of Sail in space creations tend to just have had horrible luck with where they've fallen. Right? Treasure Planet came out at a time when Disney was moving from 2E animation to 3E or 2D animation. If you too long talking about gamings, but 2D animation to 3D animation. I watched a documentary about it on YouTube, which I didn't know any of this, right? And it was a labor of love project that they didn't want to make, but they kind of owed the guys who made it. So, you know, it was part of their contract deal that they got to make a movie that they wanted to make if they did, I don't know, X number of movies that Disney wanted them to make. So they fulfilled that contract, so Disney had to take it, but it was really expensive to make because of the combination of 2D and 3D art. So after that, everybody moved to this live action nonsense, which is all CGI, and nobody wants to make 2D movies anymore, and they don't want to make uh, combinations at all, right? So um, then I believe there was. I think the original creators are fighting for the distribution rights for Treasure Planet because Disney has basically given it the sawed off treatment, as in sawed off asshole, right? And they think that, you know, more could be done with it. They wanted to make sequels. So I think there's another legal fight going on. So, yeah, copyright. Copyright. Okay, my belief about copyright. I have a very radical belief about copyright as far as artists go. It's like this. If, okay, the creator should get control of the thing until they die. At which point, if they still have a living spouse or a co creator, right, all the rights pass to them. When the spouse dies, it should be public domain, right? It should not be in the control of corporations. It should entirely be up to the universe, right? Because at some point, if your work has lasted beyond your death, it's now part of the culture and the myth, right? And the myths of your culture. Right? It's totally not fair what's happening with Star Trek, for example. That should be public domain at this point, right? CBS went out of their way to kill the best Star Trek projects out there, which were fan made, right? So, yeah. Anyway. But Spelljammer completely represents what D&D is today. Yeah, this is part of the reason why I decided, like I say, the Toy Soldier Saga started as a Spelljammer fan setting, and I was writing fan fiction within their world. And for a long time, I didn't do anything with it because I was waiting for them to start doing things with Spelljammer. I couldn't get their attention because who the hell am I? I'm some Canadian. They don't give a shit about me, right? And, you know, I'm like, but I got this great story, and I didn't think I could do anything with it outside of. And also, I was kind of holding off to see if they did publish new stuff in Spelljammer because I was going to be like, well, here, you know, let's make a deal about my story because I'd really like to set it in your universe. But 20 years is long enough to wait. So I took out everything that was specifically Wizards property, and it is now its own thing, right? And I've even changed things like how the physics work and, you know, the names of people involved, and they serve different roles and different events happen because they made more sense in my changed story and whatnot, right? But I love the setting, right? I just Age of Sail in space, you can't beat it, you know. Age of Sail fantasy in space. Dazzlecat, that sounds like a good idea. 2 math classes, typical geometry and life math. Yep, Rowan, I agree with you completely. You realized you could learn more from a day in the library that would be of more use to you in grade 10, so you quit. I was alumni, right? So I stubborned through and graduated grade 12 despite the fact that I was living on my own and had left home early by that point because I wanted to say I had the degree, right? Not not that a high school education does you any good anymore, right? But Siobhan failed grade 12 math by 1%, but passed the final exam, proving the teacher wrong, which was the target. Yeah, but Siobhan used to do physics problems for fun. Can I link a Discord image link thing here? Yes, yes you can, Dillian. I do not have a link, jail. Yeah, more discussion about the screwing of the rights of Spelljammer. We're already 10 minutes over. I gotta go with Kahuna here, but stealing ideas from everyone else and making it their own copyright sounds like Games Workshop as well. Yep. Also Disney. Treasure Planet was sabotaged by the studio. It's a great movie. Yes, it was. It was totally sabotaged by the studio. They refused to promote it. They released it at the shittiest possible time of year to release it. Totally sabotaged. They're Urks now, DM Stretch. Well, they're not Scroll. Black's gotta go back to writing. I'll be doing writing stuff here in a minute. So, yeah, copyright stuff benefits only those who can afford the most expensive lawyers, says Aegon. Yes, absolutely true. Copyrights, small creators are often very aggressive about, yes, I support copyright laws, but all the copyright laws are designed to defend corporations, not you. And if you don't have the money to hire a lawyer, you're fucked. So I have no use for the laws as they currently stand. Scribe says the Deseret people are taking a buzzsaw to copyright. He's figuring out how it works. Good for you. I can't wait to see what you come up with. That's amazing. Oh, is Kahuna still having technical difficulties? Oh, darn. Okay. Dragon Love Water says copyright is why I'm seriously thinking about taking the time to give Hydrogerium its own dice system. Good idea. Oh, we have kittes. I will look at the kittes. Age of Sail in Space is great. Yeah, agrees. Scribe. Yeah, I'm there for it. Whatever form it takes. I even like Age of Sail elements in space opera. I'm a big fan of the Honorverse books. I think they're incredible. Oh, okay. Too big. I gotta make it small. Why is this a 300%? That makes no sense. I must have been looking at another graphic. Aww. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Fluffy Gray over here is like older kitty looking at the new kitties going, hey guys. Yeah. So cute. Oh my god. Wow. You're a lucky guy, Dealey, and they're adorable. My goodness. Kahuna is back now. Okay. Cool. Bad copyright and licensing is what sabotaged 4E in a big way. Maybe, but I don't need to play World of Warcraft in a book. I would prefer to, if I'm going to play World of Warcraft, I'll play it online, because that's what it's designed for. I don't like World of Warcraft when I'm trying to use my imagination. It hurts me. Scribes behind Honorverse. Oh hell yeah, Honorverse, he says. Dragon Love Water says, and some weird mechanics I'm thinking about that wouldn't reach well with 5e as it is. Don't know what that's in response to, whether that's in response to 4e or Spelljammer. Okay, E-Song says First Honor book is amazing. Yeah, the whole series is amazing. Fluffy Gray is also new. They're adorable. Okay, good night, Macaro. And thanks everyone for joining me. Like I said, I'm going to keep the stream up. I'm probably going to take a break, so you'll see the break screen for some time. But in the meantime, we are going to go and raid Kahuna, because Kahuna is awesome and I want to see him too. So don't forget that our raid shout is prepare to be boarded, because we are the Sable's privateers. Since we are canceling tomorrow night, our next stream will be Diane Wrights on Wednesday. No, sorry, Ask an Old GM Tuesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time. Right? So, and then I'll be back for Diane Wrights on Wednesday. And we'll try that. Diane on Monday. Diane's not coming on Monday. Diane asked, and that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. If it does, it'll be an impromptu thing. More likely in the morning, weirdly enough. But that's why we're staying up a little late tonight. Because within a couple of minutes or so, it might be as long as half an hour, I'm going to have the house to myself. So, and I might as well stream while I'm doing it. So, but in the meantime, we're raiding Kahuna. I will see you over there. Have fun, guys.